Hi, welcome back to another live stream, and also welcome back to the channel. Today it's part 3 about starting from scratch. I had a jam a few days ago, starting from scratch, and yesterday I did the arrangement of the song. So everything was recorded in the first day when I did the jam, and yesterday I did I construct a song here, the arrangement of that song, using all those waveforms that I recorded at that moment, and I made a main mix. It's here open now, and today we are going to I'm going to show you how to master a finished song, how I do it. There are some tricks that I'm using, and the reason why I master always my music, that's important, is that it will sound on each different device almost the same thing. So you can hear the bass, the low end, the high end, the mid end, the mid frequency also, and not only that, and also to hear all those different sounds in that music. So it gives it a little bit. I compared that with a varnish on a paint, something a little bit deeper. It gives it an extra. But certainly the first point that I mentioned was that it will sound okay on each device that you are listening: headphones, laptop, smartphone, in your studio. Doesn't matter where. So it sounds always okay, and that's the important thing for mastering. So those two things. First, also welcome to everybody to watch the channel and also come and visit the channel. Feel free to like and subscribe, of course, but certainly leave a message in the chat or just say hello. Or if you have a question, don't hesitate and ask, because I will try to help you answer that. And maybe if I have a question, please help me also out. Sometimes, yesterday I had also an issue with the chat. It was in Dutch, but I found out how to turn that off. So YouTube not long ago set every time you start a live stream, it will be set in translating in your own language, where the country where you're living. So the settings that I put, so it's in Belgium, so it's in Dutch or in French, but now it was in Dutch, and now you must always click that out so it stays in the language that you're. So when I'm reading something, that it stays in that language and not gonna be translated, so everybody can also see the chat on the screen, of course. That's why I want to do that. So feel free to leave a comment in the chat or just say hello, and we're gonna get started. So but first what we are going to do is listen to the song, the mini jam that I did, the song that I created yesterday with that sound that I used, created, and then a live jam and starting from scratch. The most important thing before you go to that mastering is that your levels are set okay, so that every sound that you're using is in the same, in a great level, so you can hear everything. So the most important thing, that your sound must sound okay before you master it, because you cannot make a bad mix a good master. That's impossible. Basic is always a good mix. So the leveling of your sounds must be okay. Also, if you want to pan something, also the IQ of some sounds. I don't IQ a lot. So most of all, I like to have the sound comes out of my gear okay. That's the most important thing. And certainly when you're doing a live gig, when I'm doing the PA for in the jazz club, and there are some guys with not so good gear, you see that immediately in your mix table that the signal is not so great, or the sound is not so great. So using good gear is most important thing, I think, before you're gonna record something. So starting from your gear, then recording. After you record, set your levels okay. Set also your IQs if if it's needed. It's not always needed. So I think there is on all those. I'm gonna open the mix. Like you said, there is no IQ on none of those sounds. So I use my sounds as clean as possible, just without any IQ. Sometimes I do that, but here there was enough bass. I don't think, even in my mix table, I don't see any IQing. What I did is for the drums, I'm gonna show you that also so you can see what's happening on my mix table. Also for all those who just came in, welcome to the live stream, and also welcome to the channel. Also, if you want, you can also go and watch those other 2 live streams. You can find them on my channel on the live streams to see that process from the beginning. I'm gonna open Universal Control. That's software for my mix table, so you can also see what the settings are for each. Hi, Tux 786. Welcome to the 9. Excuse me, 789. Welcome to the chat. Yes, indeed. So start from the basic, and the basic is your instrument. If your instrument is not okay, then you can do what you ever want to do. You cannot make it better than it comes in. So a great output of your instrument, and also the sound of your instrument. Certainly voices. If someone has a nice voice and he starts to sing, I don't even, sometimes a little bit of high end, that depends on the room where I'm mixing. But normally, if someone has a nice voice, you want to keep that character of that voice, so you don't need to change that. Why does you? It's a little bit strange. The same thing with those synths. I have my Prophet-5. It sounds superb, but I have also added an Godis to make it also stereo, and it's an analog Godis. The sound that comes out those 2 are fantastic. Why does I need to fix that? If it doesn't have to fix, because it sounds okay. Just the only thing, it's panning and leveling, or some effects like a Godis, a little bit delay, reverb, more or a delay, but in musical terms, not in effect terms. That's the only thing I do. Less is more. That's my philosophy. That's how I work. And as you see, all those tracks here, the Moog, nothing. Prophet-5, nothing. No IQing, nothing. Go to my TR. Here, there is only a fat compressor that I'm using here. In this case, by the way, thanks, Tux, for your comments. So feel free to leave a comment in the chat if you have a question also. And if you don't agree, also share it with us, because we can learn from each other. So as you see, the only thing that I did on the drums was I set the drums on the drum computer itself. So hand a little bit the hi-hat, the snare also, and the kick. Set also the pitch, and also a little bit of the release on those kick and snare. So that's mixed in the drum computer itself, so I don't need that to do that here on my. The only thing that I'm adding here is this compressor, fat compressor, a very interesting compressor for that. Certainly for drums, it makes your drum sound better. I'm gonna let you hear it, but I'm gonna see if I'm set in. Okay, I think it's analog. I hope. Oh no, it's USB. That's okay. I'm gonna let you hear that so you can mute. Set it in solo. If I set it in solo, then I have no sound. I'm gonna choose this one here. Where is he? Here is a solo also, but the main mix is muted, so I can start from the drums. They are starting here. So that's the drums with that compressor. So that's the only thing that I'm doing on this in this mix, nothing else. And you see the fat compressor is working. I'm gonna turn that off so you can hear the difference. That's without. You will say, oh, it's just the volume that goes up. That's not true, because I'm gonna make it louder. I'm gonna turn up the gain. I'm gonna make it just louder and back to the. That's louder, and that's with the kick comes more out here, and so the difference between high and low, that's what you're hearing here. And then you hear better the hi-hats. Even here you don't hear the hi-hats louder. They are there, but it's in the background. So this compressor, the fat compressor, range 4 to 1, and of course a fast attack and also a fast release. That's most important for drums, and that's why I use also the fat compressor, because that's compressor can react very fast with those sounds. Important that you're gonna a little bit of that, nothing more. There is lots of bass. That was an example of starting with a bass, basic that's okay. Now let's go now to the main mix that I did, and we're gonna listen that from the beginning. Yes, and that's because the compressor that I used for the drum. And for drums, that's important that you have a compressor. If you're creating your drums here with different tracks, then it's more important that you use also a group. You make a group for drums and then set there your compressor on. In this case, if I'm using a VST drum, then the best thing that you can do is use that also, make that at the end, set a compressor on. A compressor for a drum is always useful, certainly for that. Thank you. But in the mix, let's hear how it sounds in the mix. So the second noise that sound that you hear is the Prophet 5, and the sound is identical, only I put a ping pong delay on, and I like that. I like the ping pong delay, but what doesn't ping pong delay sometimes do? It sends your sound from left to right, and it gives sometimes opening for other sounds, so it will not be muddy. That's why I like the ping pong delay better than the usual delay. And if I have a normal delay, then I must pan it a little bit left or right and put a little bit of reverb, so it comes also a little bit through the other side. Panning is making room for sounds, and delay is the same thing. If you're using it as a ping pong delay, it gives you also room for sound, so you can hear every instrument. So let's hear further. So the drums, the bass come through. I think the bass in this case is a little bit not so loud, but no problem. We can fix that in the through mastering, because the level is okay. You hear the bass, the level is okay, but we're gonna fix that a little bit in the mastering, and you're gonna hear that better than in the mastering. You will see there will be a difference between those. Next. So when I was listening, I was changing here. You don't hear that here. You only hear the mix here. And I'm going to change also a little bit the bass. I'm going to turn that a little bit louder. And I'm going to re-record the same sound, this one I'm going to delete because I don't need that. I'm going to re-record that because I changed here something. And also here, second time that you're listening after a day, then sometimes things will come up so you can hear, oh, okay, that's not okay. Certainly when you're sometimes hours working on a song, sometimes best that you stop that song, take another song, or you're gonna leave it for a day and then redo it the day after. So you're gonna have sometimes a better view on what you're doing. Like I listened now and I think, okay, this was okay, this is not okay. I'm gonna change that here and this one here. So it changed a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is this delete, and I'm gonna record, set a little bit the bass louder. I'm gonna record this sense also, it stays like I. Oh. Yes. So I'm gonna leave that like that and record. I'm gonna record now everything, and I'm gonna turn off my mic because otherwise I'm gonna record a noise here. Like I said, feel free to leave a comment in the chat. If you have a question, or do you like it or no, or just say hello, feel free. It will be nice. Let's listen and recording. It won't work like that. All the rest must be also in solo. So I can record everything. Okay, let's start again. There is something that I think I want to do also is this will come here. I think I'm gonna go back and start again before I'm gonna record so I can. idea is okay, but there is something wrong here. So I'm gonna fix that before I'm gonna make the record. I'm gonna start with recording. So that was it. The recording is finished. I think the leveling is okay. There is everything is in level. What I also did is took my headphones off and turned off the speakers. The mic was off, so there is no feedback, of course. Turned off the speakers so I can hear also how it sounds through my speakers. And I must say it sounds almost identical as in my headphones. What I also did is when I have I have a subgroup here where my instruments are in, and in the subgroup I also have a compressor set on that. I'm gonna let you see that also. So that means everything is mixed and goes also through a compressor and an IQ. You can change that a little bit if you want. Hi, Synthfun, welcome back to the channel. Thank you. I hope you can find it interesting. That's the reason why I do this, just for people who never did that and to experience that live and also go through that process so you can follow. And that's was my intentions on this video, of course. Thank you and welcome also back. Let's go and let you see what I did with so now this is all those instruments are in a subgroup. I have a subgroup that I set on my channel. Cannot see it here. Those are the DCAs. I don't use DCA. DCA is not the same as a subgroup. And in DCA you can set your volume up and down from all your faders, but it's not always interesting because, as you know, you don't change a lot in the unison, but when you go down it goes more expansional, so it takes more than another. Some, if this one is here low and you're gonna turn it here, so this one will go much more less louder than the other one because it's more in the middle. In the middle it doesn't you have more range and less range here, so that's why I don't use the DCA. And also on a DCA you cannot set cannot put some reverbs or plugins like a compressor or an equalizer, but on a group and a subgroup you can do that. So it's now on my mix table, those two lights here, that's a subgroup that I'm using for that. And you can turn off also a little bit that subgroup. You can also set your effects in those subgroups. So when you're turning off those effects, I think no, they are not in the subgroup, but I think when I'm in the subgroup, so I can turn also those effects off and less more and down. So they are also set in the subgroup. Subgroup 1, yes, that's what I'm working on. And in this case, what I did in the subgroup, I'm going to that subgroup. I'm gonna synchrone, so it does what it's not synced now. Now it is. Oh, see, now I go to the subgroup. I'm in the subgroup now, so I must always sync those two. Then you see I have here, instead of for the drums, I use that fat compressor. Here I'm using a sort of a tube compressor or LA. I'm gonna use that also. Normally around -12, -8, but some sounds, that depends what the input is on the unison a little bit more, but you must leave some headroom so you can put some effects on, or you can put some dynamics on that channel. So the main mix certainly is always under the, not over the unison, but -8, -12, depends. It's analog or digital. If you have a digital, then -12, 8, even unison. But a digital, I think analog -12, -8 max, but not louder. So you have enough of. I think you mean on each track. How many? Or it's monitoring, because my monitoring is always in unison. That's the and on digital. It's not the same on an analog mix table. If you have an analog one, that's not the same. I'm setting it always in unison here in my subgroup. I'm on main. It's now off, but normally it's the maximum that I do is -5. But normally -9, 8, 10, but that's very low. But -5, that's the max that I have here on my main. I hope I answered your question. If it doesn't, please explain then why, so I can help you. In this case, I'm using that tube compressor or the LA200. The LA, I'm gonna look it up. Which one was that? Because I'm gonna use that here. I'm gonna open that also, my Cubase. So I'm gonna make the mastering on my Cubase. I can do it also in Studio Pro, but it's easier for me to do that in Cubase. So I can also explain which plugins that I'm using for that, for the mastering. But the most important thing, I think, Tux, you must listen with your ears. Listening with your ears and see that you're not going into red. Can go to orange, but not red. So that's important, that you go listening with your ears and just not going into red. And I mean for the mastering, the mix of all those tracks, and your tracks never go above unison. Only now I did that for the Moog, but no problem. Thank you for asking the question. I hope I couldn't help you. I hope I can help you. That's the reason why we do that here. So the LA2A, that was the compressor that I was looking for. So that's the same thing as the LA2A, but it's a tube compressor. And then we have the classic equalizer. And this one is very interesting for me, for my mix. So for my main mix, for my subgroup, I set this here because it's now on. So what you hear is I'm gonna go back so you can listen to that also. Starting that out, I can do that here. There is something that's okay. I know what. You hear there is no latency, almost nothing of latency. That's so I'm gonna go back and listen to that main here. That's what I want to hear. So let's go here. Without the equalizing and without the compressor. So -12 here. You can hear also my voice is not so loud anymore. Gonna make it a little. That's without anything. With IQ. With IQ. Without IQ. With compressor. Without compressing. Without. With. So what you hear is that I make a master of it a little bit, but it's not finished. That's just the group master that I have here, just to make your sound okay before you're going to that mastering. So what I'm going to do is now this one, minimize. This is my main. I'm going to send it file. Export, mix down. I'm going to make it 24. Normally a waveform. Now it's MP waveform. 24 bits. Important. Use 24 bits. That's how I'm doing it. Don't need now the 3M. 24 bits and 84 kilohertz. Sample rate and resolution is 24 bits. I'm gonna leave the name is the same here, like it is. And I'm gonna make that a mix. It will turn up in my folder. Then I'm going to Cubase. Here it is. So that's okay. I'm gonna minimize this one. Open my Cubase here, and also open that folder. So I'm gonna put this one here in my Cubase. I'm gonna see if I can find one who is open and delete. I have a mixtape, a mastering here. Normally new project, non-default, empty. If I can find a mastering that I have before, yeah, that's a master track. So I don't have to delete this one because I don't need that. So what I have for mastering 2 tracks. I'm going to use 2 tracks. Most important thing, I'm going to turn everything off. That's important, so you can hear the difference after that. Everything, and also the equalizing of everything. No equalizing here, and here there is an equal. So first of all, going to my track here, set it in the first one. Okay. Now, what we have here, that's the same thing that you hear the... Oh. The beat rate was not okay. That's when you're going from one to the other. This one was 110. Gonna make it also 110. Let's hear what it does now. That's better. This one is set to -2 dB. So why? You will, to create some headroom, because we are going to add some compressing and some IQ. So you must take a little bit of that dB. So -2 dB. Then I'm going to copy this one and I'm going to paste here under. And this is a very important step, because this is just for to create a sound that will be okay on each device that you are listening on smartphone, a tablet, a laptop, on your PC, on your hi-fi, or with your headphones. So every time we're listening, and what's important on this one is here the IQ. I'm gonna set more in the middle, so mid-range, and take off the low end, and take also off the high end. Shelf that, both shelving, high and low. Shelving, that means you must, here in this case, here it is, here are the different options that you have. So those are the shelf different options. You cannot see that here, but where can you see that? On my mix table. That's easier to see when I'm going to the IQ. So this is a shelf and this is a shelf. So if I'm going here down, but I shelf it, it will do that. Without shelf, shelf. Going up, and again, that's a shelf. So if you don't know what a shelf is, same thing on the other side. You can create a high pass and a low pass filter with that shelf. You can also have different shelves, and those are the two that I'm using in this case here. And I'm doing that also here on Cubase on this second track. But this one is on -10 dB. So it will maybe that I'm going much lower than 10, till 15 dB even. So take off all those high and low end, and here the same thing. And now here we stay neutral. But what we are going to add here is a Pultec, an LA2A. This is the LA2A from Universal Audio, and this one is very nice. How I set always this LA2A is going with my your peak reduction till the needle begins to move, and then go a little bit back, just to move a little bit, and then turn up your gain till you have the level that you want to have. And then we have also an IQ. This is an IQ from Cubase, very interesting also, just to have a nice sound. Let's hear what it does. Oh, IQ is not okay. Turn that off. Lots of the high ends. I'm gonna turn that off. Middle, That's better. A lossy digital compression? I don't understand. There is always a lose. You lose always something when you're listening this here in my headphone. If I set it on or put it on USB wave or 24 dB, and I set it in a hi-fi installation with quality, then it sounds identical. If I do the same thing and I'm gonna turn off the sound from YouTube, then you will hear the difference. There is a difference, of course. There's a quality difference between the sound that I'm having here and which comes out YouTube, but it's not so big. So certainly not if you're listening in devices like a smartphone or a laptop. But if you're listening on a very quality hi-fi installation, then you will hear difference. Certainly, that's normal because YouTube compress those sounds. Without. Now it's just finding that sweet spot. Enough of enough of, so what I did with that compressing here, it compress every high and low that goes too hard, and it gives a little bit more that mid end, and that gives you that sound that you kind of have on those devices where there is no lot of bass. So you can hear that bass, and here you can then hear the rest. have too much because I'm always in red. That's not okay. What I'm gonna do is open my mixer here. Where did I? Devices, yes, mix console, and then there was something wrong with that mixer before. It was otherwise. It was other. You can have you can see our main mix here. I'm gonna take. Oh, okay. I'm gonna use my transporter. That's better. Devices. Here it's better. So I'm gonna. Still -2. That's a little bit too much. That's better. That's the level that I need. So now it's red because I'm talking too loud in this mic. I'm too close to that mic also. And that's Nice. I think it's okay, but it's not 100% my, like I want to have to hear that. I'm gonna listen to the original before, because it was okay without that. I don't like the mix here. I don't know why. I know why, because before I had another plugin here for the IQ, and that was this one, a Pultec. But you see, I must buy this one because this one works perfect. Don't like this IQ that I have now, so I cannot use the. Only without that, I think. Without that IQ, and I'm gonna start from scratch. Maybe that's better. Delete this because I don't like that IQ. I'm gonna use the IQ from Cubase itself. That's better. It's useful. Okay, it's useful like that. Starting from scratch is better, I think, because a new project, yes. Just an empty. Only thing that I must change here are this. Oh, that's left, right, output. Okay, that's perfect. Everything is set. Main 2 audio tracks needing. Always use 2. So my first is the sound. It's the project first time. The sample also before I'm gonna transport. 110. Then we have here the sound. That mastering, that can take some time because it's always and you're gonna listen to it today, tomorrow you will say okay, it's not okay, it's changing that can take some while, and sometimes it's from the first time. Now listen. Copy the same track, make it here. Now mute this one, just listen to the first. Oh, what I must do now, because it comes to the main, there is no effects on. LA to A. With? Without. Without. That's okay. Volume is okay. I must have now the same volume. Ah, okay, I see. I didn't turn it on. Oh, that's too much. That's what I want to have. That depth. Now I got it. I think. think I have it now better than before. So what I did, so the same thing here, LA2A. I don't use that equalizer I used before because it wasn't not good. This one is better, just a little bit of mid here and a little bit of high. Then this one is same, just mid, no high and no low. And I said also there was a compressor on, but it is now it's on. That's better. Now going back to the original. Lots of low end here and here. More stabilized. So for me, it's almost finished. There are some tweaks that I must do. I must listen that a few times through, so it's not 100%. Certainly here, I did that in the middle. That's okay. Must not exaggerate with that, otherwise it will go too a little bit more in the low here. second, please. Okay, I'm back again. Now I'm gonna finish this off. I think it's almost finished. For me, it's finished. Normally, okay, now I hear a fault and I hear something, and that comes here. There is a click in the beginning, and that has to do with the drums that start or something. So, or is it this drum, or is it this sound? I'm gonna check it out. The drums. Oh no, I'm gonna. It's the drums that start with a click. Yes, you hear that. Yes. So to solve that problem, so there are also some minor things that you always must a little bit fade in, and it's gone. No. No click. That's so I must redo that again, and then again mastering, and again and again. So that's the way I work normally. So I'm gonna redo that once again. Again, starting from what did I did now? Oh. So I must delete this one, delete, and then start from again, recording, and then go back to the mastering, and then fix that from there. That's the way I work always. That's also the main workflow that I have. So I'm not going to do that now live because I had some call phones from friends of mine who want to go out tonight. So I think why not? So that's the main workflow that I'm using, starting with a jam from scratch, making an arrangement, a song, and from that set the mix right, make a main mix. From that main mix go, in this case I'm using Cubase 2 times, one just for the compression and some EQing sometimes, so it sounds okay, and then add a little bit of mid just for the other sounds, and then you're finished. That's how I work. I hope you find it interesting, that you also maybe work this way. I don't know. Feel free to leave that in the comments, of course, below. But that's the way I work, and there are other ways, I think. Feel free also to mention that or to leave that in the comments. I'm always open to learn something new and maybe better tricks that I use. Why not? Always free to listen to new ways to make your songs and create them until a finished product. When I was finished here, so normally I can go now and say save, export, mix down, and then I make it a 16 bits for or MP3, and I'm gonna call it the same as so LGS. Let's live jam, start from scratch, and then the date, of course. And then export. It will export those two as one song, anyhow finished. So that's how I work. And it's not 100% finished because I'm gonna leave it now today for today, and then tomorrow, this week, when I'm coming back in my studio, I will listen to it and tweak it a little bit so it works. And for the rest, it's always a whole journey from start to finish. And I think for the music itself, creating that music, it takes sometimes one day, sometimes a few hours, sometimes a few days or a week. Then make an arrangement also a day or two, a day sometimes. And only for that mastering and mixing, sometimes a week or a month. I have some songs that I did certainly a week sometimes, or more, even a month once, just to have that balance and it sounds okay. Just I'm happy with the results. Like now, it's okay, but I'm not happy. There are some things that I must change. Like I said here, this one. So I'm going to record that without that click. And then the levels are okay. So the rest must be done in the mastering. Maybe, no, I think everything is okay here. So that was it for today. I hope you found it interesting and also learned for also. Thank you, Tux789. And thank you, Synthfun, for the visit and also for the comments and the feedback. Thank you all. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel, of course. There will come more videos of those. Certainly next video will be on free plugins. Interesting. Have some idea, found some plugins, interesting free plugins that you can use, certainly for synths and drums. So stay tuned. And then after that, I have also some recording monophonic synths and instruments like synths, bass, and all those things. For live or for in the studio, the same thing, how I record my sound. And as you know, it is always important that you have a basic, a good basic where you start with. So your sound from your instrument must be good before you start and do the rest. Okay, thank you very much. Take care, stay creative, and I will see you next time on another jam or another live stream. Goodbye.
Thank you.